All right, so my name is Matt Selby. I am going into my second year of graduate school at Rutgers University here in New Jersey. I'm in the nutritional sciences program, which just after a lifetime of interest in nutrition and after many years of getting to work with research, I figured, all right, it's time to finally put the two together. And I ultimately decided on nutritional sciences. I have a background in human physiology and biochemistry. I went to the University of Oregon for undergrad and then spent 3 years working in research after that. And like I said, those experiences together finally convinced me, one, it was time to go to grad school, like it was time to put these skills to the test, and then also time to move on in my academic career. I found out about IAFNS because Rutgers has actually worked with IAFNS before, and some members of the faculty in the nutritional sciences program are very familiar with IAFNS. And so when a summer fellowship opportunity came up to work with IAFNS, so the purpose of my project was to communicate current guidelines, like dietary guidelines, regarding fat consumption to the lay public. Specifically, we want to be able to curate, or we wanted to be able to curate the current guidelines and the current research supporting those guidelines, and put it all together for healthcare professionals such as nurse practitioners, because they are a highly trusted member of the community. They're highly educated. They're perfectly capable of engaging with primary literature and interpreting results and giving actionable advice to the public. So we wanted to provide those resources for them because they're not registered dietitians, so they maybe lack access to those resources or aren't quite sure where to look. And then once those resources were available, they could communicate it to the public. So at the beginning of the summer, I actually did a few interviews with some nurse practitioners who were friends of IAFNS. We leveraged some contacts, got me in contact with them. And what struck me was, one, they had maybe not the most exhaustive nutrition education, at least formal nutrition education, like in medical school or in their graduate career. So they recognized that that was a blind spot in their education, and they were highly motivated to seek further education opportunities. So in many states, nurse practitioners and registered dietitians and other healthcare workers have to get what's called continuing education credits, where you basically can attend a lecture or read a paper from Nutrition Today, or write a paper yourself, and those are worth what's called continuing education credits. And by earning those, you can maintain your license and continue to practice whatever form of healthcare in whatever state you're in. And so we decided that it was a very exciting opportunity to make this paper or this tool, this paper, and everything I worked on in conjunction with the nurses, if we could make that into a continuing education tool so that they could get those credits. Hey, let's provide a platform for nurses to ask those questions. So I had some propositions for some changes to the website to allow nurse practitioners and other healthcare workers to submit questions to IAFNS so that they could, in the moment, they found out, they heard a question about nutrition they didn't know the answer to, and then they could turn to a trusted partner full of credentialed, highly educated professionals. So to take a broad overview, so IAFN's mission statement is to, as you know, is the tripartite model, as they call it, bringing together academia, industry, and government so that there's better collaborations and better dissemination of information. So when I read about IAFNS's mission statement, when I first found out about the fellowship, that really excited me, because as someone with a science communication background, I was a biochemistry major at University of Oregon, but I also worked with the SPICE program, which was a science outreach program, my entire time while I was there. So that idea of, hey, let's build these collaborations and let people from disparate fields actually communicate, that was really exciting to me. And so over the course of this experience, I have met several people from industry and government, and even other academics who I wouldn't have met otherwise. I guess my view of science, I prided myself on engaging with other materials prior to grad school, and so I thought that I had a broad view of what was going on in science. But now I realize that I had a very limited view, and I now see that there's a lot of different people in a lot of different fields pursuing human health and promoting just wellness and making it so that the public is easier able to both access information regarding health and then also access products that can promote overall just wellness and health. So my goal with the rest of grad school is to finish my research, obviously. Quick aside on that, I work in a lab studying basic science. We investigate how a very specific protein, SCD, steryl-CoA desaturase, affects lipid metabolism. So I'm continuing on with basic science research. But my experience with IAFNS has reminded me that I do have a passion for working with people, communicating science, and especially communicating science related to medicine and nutrition. And so I'm now adding in a registered dietitian training aspect to my overall education. So by the time I graduate, I will be a registered dietitian and will have the ability to work with people and continuing doing basic research, which is really what I wanted all along. But I needed an opportunity like this to remind me that that was what I really care about. In terms of advice for other students, I would say you will get out of this experience what you put in. So, like I said, the original goal of this project was simply identify a few questions that seem salient to the public and then answer them somehow, which could have been very basic. The lipid committee they already had some questions ready to go, and I could have just done that. I could have just made a prezi and be done in like a few weeks, really. But I was really excited by the opportunities that I recognized with this. I didn't have to interview those nurse practitioners. I didn't have to write a paper for Nutrition Today, but those were things that were valuable to me, and those were things that just expanded on some skills I already had and gave me the opportunity to practice some skills I wanted to have. And by just saying yes to things and being willing to put in a little bit of extra work, it ended up being just such a valuable experience. And with the guidance of my committee leader, Barbara Lyle, she both helped keep me realistic with some of my goals were maybe a little too ambitious, but just the incredible support I received from IAFNS throughout this experience would not have made all those extra things I did possible. So just know that if you want to do some extra work, the sky's the limit, and you're going to get a lot of great support from IAFNS, and they will make sure that you're able to do things in a timely manner. And they will provide the resources and expertise that you need to really support whatever project you take on yourself.